This afternoon I'm speaking to Fouad, a Melbourne 20-something who comes from a Palestinian background. He was born in Australia and spent much of his childhood living in Dubai before moving back here with his family. Today I'm going to be asking him a few questions about the current sentiment towards the Islamic community in Victoria and what messages that the Muslim community would like to the outside community to understand. Thank you for being here. Me. Can you summarise the overall feeling at present within the Islamic community, given the atrocities that are being committed overseas by the so-called Islamic State and the subsequent intense media attention?
Well, within the Islamic community there seems to be a lot of confusion and fear. The media has portrayed ISIS as a group who represents Islam as a whole, I believe. There's a lot of attention drawn towards them as they are committing beheadings and outrageous ways of killing people. If it was just shooting, I don't think there would be as much attention, of course, but of course this seems to drive a lot of attention. So Muslims in Australia who are against their actions feel that they may be targeted themselves for simply just practicing their religion, when in fact majority of people, even within my own circle, believe that ISIS is a group that's built on more than just a religious base. It's built on money and power, as they have been gaining $2 to $3 million a day, I believe, through oil, of course, and also seizing a lot of assets. So there's money involved with the whole thing, and also control. I mean, we see that America going in now, and Britain and Australia all helping. There's always something in it for everyone, I guess. But yeah, they don't represent Islam as a whole. I've spoken to many Muslims within my circles, I said before, and they all condemn ISIS and label them basically as backwards and angry people, of course, because when an angry person gets a hold of something, they tend to go out of control, in this case, religion. Only a few seem to like the idea of an Islamic State when I first asked people when ISIS was still coming up. Everyone likes an Islamic State, obviously, if you're Muslim, because they feel a bit more comfortable. But the way that this group is doing it is definitely wrong. An Islamic State has to be, I guess, voted in. Majority of people have to agree with it, which in this case, Iraq and Syria, of course, that all has been done by force.
Yeah. So, do the Islamic community on a whole believe that these terror groups, such as the so-called Islamic State, do they believe that they're real Muslims, if that's such a way of asking the question? Do they believe that they're true to the Islamic faith?
It's a bit of a controversial question. It tends to split the group because basically how do you define a real Muslim? That's where the question is. Basically, as I've said, if you fast, you pray, read the Quran, then you shoot someone, does that mean you're not Muslim anymore? Just for, I guess, killing someone?
Interesting point.
It's a bit of a controversial one. So I guess it all falls down to interpretation and education. Majority of people who join ISIS seem to be very young. They can be easily molded to believe in their values.
Mm-hmm.
They've been given this leader who, of course, has a lot of knowledge apparently about their religion. So as soon as one person gains a lot of respect, people tend to follow in their footsteps.
Yeah.
These beliefs, these fake beliefs, smokescreen everything that's going on in front of the real religion, which is basically practiced by a lot of people. Majority of people in the world aren't harmless. Muslims in general aren't harmless. Just some groups tend to take it into a different stride and tend to use it for their own advantage.
Yeah, so they run with the political and the money and the power and sort of base their fight on that rather than the... I mean, the Islamic community is predominantly, from all the research I've done, a very peaceful, very loving community, and these are a few bad eggs. Yeah,
basically. I mean, I believe that they are Muslims to a certain extent, but I also believe that they've got different agendas. I mean, some Muslims don't pray, don't fast, don't read the Quran, don't do anything basically but call themselves Muslim just because they were raised as one.
Yeah.
And so you don't know, that's a very difficult...
Yeah, it is a tricky one, but I think you've definitely shed some light on it.
Yep.
Do you ever worry that people like yourself or your loved ones, your friends, especially those who may be more outwardly open with their beliefs, may be discriminated by some people in the community who are ignorant or ill-informed as to what being a Muslim is due to all of this hoo-ha that's happening at the moment?
Of course, I guess when I go out on the town, I'm not too worried. I don't have any clothing, I guess, that makes me seem like I'm Muslim. But of course, I have aunties and cousins, females, of course, who wear the headscarf, and I believe that they are going out there with the mindset of things might happen, such as people yelling out demeaning things to them, or treated as a second-class citizen, just due to a headscarf.
Yeah.
I guess in this, I always say education is a key factor for people, which is why I believe that since we are a very multicultural country, we should teach kids from a young age basics of every religion and every culture in order to just prevent hate.
Yeah, and to just instill all these things as being nothing out of the ordinary, every religion's everyone's choice, and to accept it from a young age. So in closing, what is the key message that you think the Islamic community in Victoria want the wider community to take note of? Do they crave the support of the wider community? Are they reaching out for that?
Basically, I guess there has been some campaigns that have been put out. There's one called #NotInMyName, where I'm not too sure how many there have been, but there have been quite a bit of people who have labelled themselves as Muslims that said that they are completely against what's going on overseas. I guess ISIS is only excuse for personal agendas. We just, I guess Muslims, all we try and do is just tell everyone that Muslims are good people, and basically it's just segregating the culture, when in fact all I could say is try and befriend a Muslim. You'll see that Muslims are normal. It's just other Muslims out there are giving us a bad name, and just like the KKK, they will soon just be wiped out in terms of ISIS. Yeah.
Thank you for your time, Fouad. I really appreciate it, and hopefully this has given our readers a little bit more insight into what is going on out there, and hopefully we've educated some people.
I hope so. Thank you very much.
Thank you.